Yesterday around 4 p.m., the air station here in Clearwater got notified of a downed helicopter in about 50 miles southeast of St. Petersburg in the Fort Meade area of Florida, middle of the state. About 30 minutes afterwards, we launched, got on scene and identified two helicopters down in a marshy area, very muddy, marshy area, with both pilots and no other occupants on scene. We proceeded to execute a litter hoist of one of the patients who was more injured, and then a direct rescue swimmer recovery of the other patient. We brought them both to Tampa General, and about 2 hours later, we'll be back on deck here in St. Petersburg.
Who was the gentleman in the yellow hat that went down first?
That was a rescue swimmer, and you'll be able to talk to him here momentarily.
So was it water that was down there? Like, how can you describe what the terrain was like?
And as a pilot, I was up front flying the helicopter, so I did not actually descend down into the marshy area, and you'll be able to get that directly from a rescue swimmer shortly, but it was very, very muddy, very marshy, almost to the point of being quicksand.
So you as the pilot, what were your challenges flying into this area, being that prior to you flying over there, to other aircrafts that had just had a hard landing?
Sure, yes, two other helicopters, one sheriff helicopter and one civilian gyroplane had impacted the terrain in that vicinity 2 and 1 hours respectively prior to our arrival on scene. There were a couple other helicopters in the vicinity that we had to deconflict with. Weather was ideal on scene, and there's just some low towers and power lines we had to contend with, but nothing significant.
How is this different than what you guys normally do? Like, you guys normally over water rescue people.
Yes, sir.
Going over rough terrain like that, talk about the difference.
There are definitely some differences. Just with respect from a pilot's perspective of obstacles, terrain, towers, other aircraft, it's much busier over the middle of the state. Generally, the Coast Guard's primary search and rescue response is in the maritime environment, responding to either individuals in the water or vessels in the water. And so this was a little bit different, and mostly those obstacles are the biggest thing, and other aircraft traffic.
How long did this rescue take?
The rescue itself, we were on scene for just under an hour, and a lot of that time is involved with briefing as a crew, identifying what types of hoists we need to accomplish to safely get the two pilots in this case out of the marsh, how we're going to do it, and also deconflicting with the other aircraft nearby.
You said usually you guys are there over water and everything, but how do you guys train over land? How's the training different?
Yes, sir. The training is, to be honest with you, it's actually the same. The types of hoists that we perform over water are identical to the ones we do over land. We use the same equipment and the same devices. In this case, the litter that we use to pick up the one more injured pilot is the exact same litter we would use if we were picking someone up off of a vessel who had some sort of spinal injury or something like that. It's the same equipment and the same procedures, so it keeps our training applicable to all situations, which is very good.
Did you know the conditions going into the assignment?
Generally, in terms of weather, yes, ma'am. With respect to the actual on-scene conditions, it was a little less clear. We'd been briefed that it was a phosphate mine, which understand that it used to be, and it has since been overgrown, and it is no longer active. And so we did not know if there was going to be large hills or obstructions nearby, or cavities into the earth, and or powdery substance. It turned out to just be a marsh with mud and a levee surrounding the area.
But that's something obviously you have to figure out once you get there to kind of determine what you can and can't do.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. There's a lot of on-scene studying of the situation that you have to do once you get on scene, discussing it as a crew to identify what the safest way to both approach and then execute a hoist and depart. It's a lot that goes into that, and it's discussed as a crew prior to executing the evolution.
Would you say it was an area that you could possibly land in, or no? It was too...
No, sir. The firmness of the terrain was such that if a landing was attempted, the helicopter would sink into the mud very rapidly.
Awesome. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank you.